Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wondered what true compassion really means? Is it simply about feeling sorry for others or offering help when needed? Or is there a deeper, more profound meaning to compassion that goes beyond just the act of kindness? Today, we are going to explore what compassion truly means in the context of our daily lives, and how we can cultivate it to create deeper connections with others and with ourselves. In this video, we will explore two main ideas. First, we will delve into the true meaning of compassion and how it transcends simple acts of charity or empathy. Second, we will discuss practical ways we can cultivate compassion in our daily interactions, both with others and within ourselves. By the end of this video, you will have a better understanding of how to develop a deeper, more authentic sense of compassion, which can transform your life and the world around you. Compassion, at its core, is the ability to deeply feel for others, to understand their suffering, and to take action to alleviate it. In many spiritual traditions, including Buddhism, compassion is considered one of the highest virtues, central to the path of awakening. But what exactly does it mean to be compassionate, and how do we cultivate this quality in our lives? The true essence of compassion goes beyond simply feeling sympathy or pity for others. It is not about looking at someone's suffering from a distance and feeling sorry for them. It is about connecting with their pain and responding with a heart that seeks to ease their suffering. Compassion is the recognition that all beings, including ourselves, experience pain, and that it is our shared humanity that calls us to act with kindness and care. In Buddhism, compassion is often linked to the idea of bodhicitta, the wish to attain enlightenment in order to help all beings be free from suffering. This is not just a passive feeling, but an active force, motivating us to engage with the world in a way that benefits others. Compassion is not a one-time action, but a way of being in the world, rooted in mindfulness, empathy, and loving kindness. So, how can we cultivate this deeper, more transformative form of compassion in our lives? The first step is developing a sense of empathy, genuinely understanding and feeling what others are going through. Empathy is the foundation of compassion. Without it, we may struggle to truly connect with others on a meaningful level. But empathy is more than just understanding someone else's feelings, it's the willingness to share in their emotional experience. Imagine a situation where a friend is going through a tough time, perhaps dealing with a loss or a personal challenge. To be truly compassionate, we need to do more than just offer words of comfort. We need to empathize with their pain. This means not just acknowledging their suffering, but also holding space for their grief, anger, or confusion. It involves allowing ourselves to feel with them, rather than trying to immediately fix their situation or offer advice. By practicing empathy in our daily interactions, we begin to deepen our understanding of others and recognize the universality of human suffering. It's this recognition of shared humanity that allows compassion to flourish. The more we empathize with others, the more we connect with the root of their pain, and the more we are moved to respond with genuine care and understanding. A key aspect of cultivating compassion is learning to practice self-compassion. Often, we are quick to show kindness and understanding to others, but when it comes to ourselves, we can be our harshest critics. Self-compassion is the practice of treating ourselves with the same kindness, care, and understanding that we would offer a close friend who is struggling. This means accepting our imperfections, acknowledging our suffering, and responding to ourselves with gentleness and patience. Self-compassion is not about excusing our mistakes or ignoring our shortcomings. It's about recognizing that we are human, and that we too deserve care and understanding. It's about giving ourselves permission to feel our emotions, to heal from our wounds, and to grow from our experiences. When we practice self-compassion, we develop a sense of inner peace and resilience, which in turn allows us to offer more authentic compassion to others. One way to practice self-compassion is by cultivating mindfulness. By being present with our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we can acknowledge our pain or discomfort without becoming overwhelmed by it. Mindfulness allows us to respond to our suffering with awareness and acceptance, rather than reacting impulsively or harshly. Through mindfulness, we learn to treat ourselves with kindness, even in the face of difficulty. Another important aspect of compassion is the ability to forgive. Forgiveness is a powerful tool for cultivating compassion because it allows us to release anger, resentments, and hurt, making room for healing and peace. Holding on to grudges or past hurts not only damages our relationships with others but also keeps us trapped in cycles of negativity and suffering. Forgiveness is not always easy. It requires letting go of the desire for revenge or for the other person to pay for their actions. However, true forgiveness is an act of compassion that benefits both ourselves and the person we are forgiving. When we forgive, we free ourselves from the emotional burden of resentment, allowing us to move forward with greater peace and clarity. Forgiveness also deepens our understanding of others' suffering. When we recognize that people who hurt us are often acting from their own pain, we are able to approach them with more empathy and compassion. By forgiving, we not only release ourselves from the grip of anger, but also open the door to reconciliation and healing. Compassion also involves being mindful of our actions and how they affect others. Every action, no matter how small, can have a profound impact on the world around us. Whether we are speaking to a loved one, interacting with a stranger, or even simply going about our daily tasks, we have the opportunity to practice compassion in every moment. Being mindful of how we treat others through our words, actions, and even our thoughts helps us cultivate a compassionate heart and contribute to a more peaceful world. For example, when we encounter someone who is rude or difficult, it's easy to respond with irritation or frustration. But if we practice mindfulness, we can choose to respond with understanding instead of reacting impulsively. We can choose to treat that person with kindness, recognizing that they may be experiencing their own pain or challenges. This shift in perspective allows us to respond with compassion rather than perpetuating negativity. Another way to cultivate compassion is by engaging in acts of kindness, both big and small. Compassion is not just about how we feel, but also about how we act. It's about taking tangible steps to help others, whether it's through acts of charity, volunteering, or simply offering a listening ear to someone in need. These acts of kindness not only benefit the recipient, but they also create a sense of joy and fulfillment within ourselves. The key to making our acts of kindness more meaningful is to perform them without expecting anything in return. When we act out of pure compassion, without seeking recognition or reward, the merit we accumulate is much greater. Our actions become selfless offerings, and the positive energy generated by them ripples out into the world. For example, instead of giving to charity for personal gain or recognition, we can give from a place of love and generosity. Whether we are donating our time, money, or energy, we can approach these acts with the understanding that the true reward comes not from external validation, but from the deep sense of fulfillment that arises when we help others. In conclusion, compassion is not just an emotion, it is a way of being in the world. It involves not only feeling empathy for others, but also taking concrete steps to alleviate their suffering, practicing self-compassion, forgiving, and acting mindfully in every situation. Compassion is the key to creating deeper connections with others, fostering peace and understanding, and ultimately contributing to a more harmonious world. As we continue our journey into understanding and cultivating compassion, it's important to explore not only the impact compassion has on the world, but also the deep personal transformation it can bring. Compassion, when truly cultivated, becomes a lens through which we see and interact with all aspects of life. It helps us to step beyond our personal boundaries and experience the world in a more expansive way. This shift in perspective is not simply about feeling for others, it is about understanding the interconnectedness of all beings and realizing that when one person suffers, all of us are affected. This realization is key to deepening our compassion. The more we understand that all living beings are interconnected, the more our hearts expand to encompass not only those we know personally, but also those we may never meet. This is one of the most powerful aspects of compassion. It calls us to embrace a global and inclusive view of suffering, urging us to alleviate pain and hardship wherever we encounter it. The recognition that everyone is facing their own struggles helps us to act with greater understanding, patience, and love. For instance, if we see someone struggling with something, it's easy to judge them based on our own experience or viewpoint. But when we shift our perspective and think of all the unseen challenges that person may be facing, perhaps emotional burdens, personal losses, or invisible struggles, our hearts open up. Compassion allows us to move from judgment to understanding, helping us connect with others, not just on a surface level, but deeply and authentically. This deeper connection doesn't just benefit others, it enriches our lives by cultivating empathy, kindness, and wisdom in all our interactions. Furthermore, compassion helps us to build emotional resilience. Life is filled with ups and downs, and we all face difficulties at various points. Whether it's dealing with personal loss, work-related stress, or navigating complicated relationships, emotional challenges are a natural part of the human experience. Compassion, however, provides us with the tools to approach these challenges with grace and understanding. When we face adversity, compassion allows us to acknowledge the pain without being consumed by it. It teaches us that pain is not something we need to avoid or push away, but something we can sit with, understand, and grow from. By practicing self-compassion, we learn to be kinder to ourselves during difficult times. Rather than criticizing ourselves for feeling sad or anxious, we offer ourselves the same love and support we would offer a dear friend. This emotional resilience is not about suppressing negative feelings, but about accepting them with compassion and allowing ourselves the space to heal. Additionally, compassion helps us transform our relationship with fear. Often, fear rises because of our attachment to outcomes, to people, or to how things should appear. These attachments create anxiety because we are constantly worried about losing what we value. However, when we approach life with compassion, we begin to let go of our need for control. Compassion teaches us to release the grip of fear and trust in the natural flow of life. When we let go of our attachments, we find that fear loses its hold over us. This is where mindfulness practices, such as mindful breathing or meditation, play a crucial role. When we combine mindfulness with compassion, we allow ourselves to experience fear or discomfort without judgment. Instead of reacting with panic or avoidance, we can simply observe our fear with a sense of understanding and patience. Over time, this practice allows us to navigate fear with greater ease and calm, because we have learned that fear is not something to be feared, but an emotion that can be understood and transformed. Compassion also plays a vital role in creating healthier relationships, both with others and with ourselves. When we practice compassion in our relationships, we foster trust, mutual respect, and understanding. It encourages us to listen deeply to others, not just with our ears but with our hearts. Compassionate listening is an art that allows us to truly hear what someone is saying, without immediately offering advice, judgment, or solutions. It's about creating a safe space for others to express their emotions, knowing that they are being heard and understood. At the same time, compassionate relationships go beyond just listening. They involve actions that reflect our care for others. Whether it's offering a helping hand, supporting someone during difficult times, or simply being there for a friend in need, compassionate actions build strong, lasting bonds. The more we engage in compassionate acts, the more we create a network of support and understanding in our lives, which in turn nurtures our own emotional well-being. An often overlooked aspect of compassion is how it helps us to reconnect with our sense of purpose. When we are deeply engaged in helping others and alleviating suffering, we begin to see the profound impact our actions can have. This sense of purpose is not about achieving personal success or recognition, it is about serving the greater good. It's the realization that our lives are part of something much larger than ourselves, that the small acts of kindness we perform have a ripple effect that spreads far beyond what we can see. This shift in perspective allows us to feel deeply fulfilled, knowing that we are contributing to a world that needs more love, kindness, and compassion. When we live in alignment with compassion, we begin to feel a deep sense of meaning in everything we do. Whether we are working, taking care of our family, or simply interacting with others, we recognize that each moment is an opportunity to make a difference, no matter how small. Cultivating compassion also means letting go of perfectionism. Many of us strive to be perfect, to always do things right, and to meet external expectations. But in the process, we often forget that we are human and that imperfection is a natural part of the experience. Compassion teaches us to embrace our imperfections and those of others. It helps us to accept ourselves as we are, with all our flaws and mistakes, and to offer ourselves the same kindness we offer to others. When we release the need for perfection, we allow ourselves the freedom to grow. Compassion doesn't require us to be flawless, rather, it encourages us to embrace our humanity with all its strengths and weaknesses. This acceptance opens the door to self-compassion, and when we learn to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, we naturally extend that same compassion to others. An essential part of compassionate living is understanding that compassion is not a finite resource. It grows the more we give. The more compassion we cultivate within ourselves, the more we have to offer others. It's like a wellspring that never runs dry. When we begin to see compassion as an abundant resource, we no longer worry about running out of it. Instead, we focus on how we can cultivate it in every aspect of our lives. The more we give, the more we receive, and the cycle of compassion continues, creating a feedback loop of positivity and healing. This understanding encourages us to keep practicing compassion, even when it feels challenging. Life can be difficult, and there will be times when we encounter resistance or frustration. But each time we choose to respond with compassion, whether it's to ourselves or others, we are contributing to a greater collective healing. We are planting seeds that will eventually bloom into a more peaceful, harmonious world. In conclusion, compassion is not just a feeling or a practice, it is a way of being in the world. It transforms how we relate to others, how we respond to our own suffering, and how we live our daily lives. Through compassion, we cultivate deeper connections, create healing in our relationships, and contribute to a more peaceful world. It is through this simple, yet profound practice that we can begin to break down the barriers that separate us and come to understand that, at the core, we are all interconnected. Thank you for watching this video. I hope today's discussion on cultivating the true meaning of compassion has inspired you to reflect on how you can bring more compassion into your life. If you have any thoughts or experiences related to this topic, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who may benefit from this wisdom. May we all continue to cultivate compassion in our hearts, for ourselves and for others, and may our actions bring peace, healing, and love to the world. Until next time, take care.